So today we'll continue where we left off. Right. So the last drug that we discussed was ivermectin. We discussed that in antihelminthics. There are other parasites as well. Specifically, the parasites that are included for you, they're technically bugs. Okay, scabies and pediculosis jo karte. You have Sarcoptes scabies and you have Pediculus humanus. Both of them are insects. Okay, they will they'll either cause itch mite. Scabies is the itch mite. Okay, Sarcoptes scabies is also called itch mite that causes scabies. Generally, scabies occurs due to close contact. So does Pediculus humanus. ठीक है, ये जो बेड बग बोलते हैं या बाल में जो जू बोलते हैं, that now it specifically affects your scalp. Sometimes it will also affect the hair of your body. Okay, either way, drugs for scabies and pediculosis, both of them will be similar, right? So drugs used in scabies and pediculosis. Okay. First of all, these are most of the drugs that we are going to discuss. We have already discussed them before in some other class. या फिर उन लोगों का mechanism of action उतना डिटेल में नहीं है आप लोगों को. I'll just tell you how those are used. हाँ ठीक है. So first of all, ivermectin itself. ठीक है, ivermectin क्या करते हैं, you will get a oral medication that you use for this. You can give it orally. If you are using some other drug, then you use it in a different route. Generally जो scabies and pediculosis के treatment रहती, you give it as creams or you give it as body wash. Okay, so the patient is supposed to wash their body with that, will apply करके, then they need to have a hot scrub bath or things like that. Ivermectin is the only drug that you give orally. Given orally. All right. Avoid this drug in pregnancy and lactation as well as in children. Avoid in pregnancy, lactation, and in children. All right. Now, coming to the next drug, this whole drug class is very small, so we'll not go into a lot of detail about this. We have something called benzyl benzene. Now, this drug you will get it as a liquid. Okay, the liquid is technically speaking, it is an emulsion. You get 25% emulsion, and that liquid will be applied over the whole body. Okay, you apply it, then you wait for a while, then you have a hot scrub bath. So you have to scrub your body with while bathing. You can apply it twice a day. Okay, 25% emulsion may be applied and washed off by taking a hot scrub bath. ठीक है, can be used every 12 hours. ठीक है, generally twice a day the patient is asked to have a bath after applying this benzyl benzene. Now if you use it very frequently, you will have to space it out. Okay, it's not just that 12 hours में एक बार use करना है. For repeated days altogether, if you keep on using it, what will happen is it will cause irritation on the skin. Frequent usage of benzyl benzene generally leads to irritation. It will cause itching and all as well. Okay, you might see rashes and redness and all of that. Then we have something called permethrin. Now, permethrin is a insecticide that will kill both scabies as well as lice. Okay, what happens is the insect gets paralyzed. Once you apply it, you will get a cream of permethrin. You get a 5% cream or you get a 1% cream. Okay, you can wash it off after 12 hours. Once you apply the cream, wait for a little while, then you can wash it off. ठीक है, स्पेशली अगर 5% क्रीम है तो 12 आवर्स के बाद वॉश करना. अगर पेडिकुलोसिस है देन यू गेट अ 1% क्रीम. पेडिकुलोसिस जनरली अकर्स इन हेयर, सो पेडिकुलस ह्यूमैनस विल बी हेड लाइस. ठीक है, तो जो बाल में हो रहा है यू कैन अप्लाई इट इन द स्कैल्प इटसेल्फ डायरेक्टली. फॉर स्कैल्प you get 1% cream. So that 1% cream you can take a little bit of it and you can apply it over your scalp, and later on you can wash it off. Just wait for 10 minutes, then you can wash it off. Okay, so permethrin for scabies 5% cream is used, washed after 12 hours. Okay. For pediculosis, we get 1% cream. ठीक है, 1% ड्रग रहता है उसमें, is used, rubbed over scalp. So not just apply, rub it over your scalp. ठीक है. Wash after 15 minutes or wash after 10 minutes. Wash after 10 minutes. Okay. Then we have something called लिंडेन. लिंडेन को गामा बेंजीन हेक्साक्लोराइड भी बोलते हैं. लिंडेन और गामा बेंजीन हेक्साक्लोराइड. ओके. BHC भी बोलते हैं इसको. बेंजीन हेक्साक्लोराइड है ना, तो इट इज कॉल्ड BHC. Now, 1% of BHC, you will add it in vegetable oil or in a cream, and it is applied over the body. You can repeat it every 2 to 3 days. Okay. The problem with BHC is that it is very, very lipid soluble. So it can enter into your body very easily. Because it is lipid soluble, once you apply it over your body, let's suppose the patient is having scabies, and and they apply it over their skin directly. Because your skin is very susceptible to lipid soluble organisms, if you apply oil, generally up oil low or cream low, it will easily get absorbed through your skin. Okay. The same thing will happen with benzene hexachloride. If you apply it over your skin, it can cause systemic toxicity, meaning it will go inside your body and it will cause arrhythmias or it can cause seizures. So you have to be careful of this. Another thing is that resistance has started to develop for BHC. You can use it for both scabies and pediculosis, but resistance is seen nowadays. Okay. 1% BHC mixed in oil or cream, applied over body every 2 to 3 days. Okay. As it is highly lipid soluble, causes systemic toxicity. Because it is entering inside your body, it can cause systemic toxicity. The previous ones are not as soluble inside your body. They will not enter into your body. They'll only be present on the surface. This fellow will get absorbed inside. Systemic toxicity that will appear as either seizures or arrhythmias, or sometimes both. Okay. Then we have something called crotameton. Now, crotameton is used for lice and scabies. Okay. You get around 10% cream, and that 10% cream will be applied 2 to 3 times every 24 hours. Once you apply it, wait for a little while and wash it off. Okay. So applied as 10% cream. Okay. 2 to 3 times every day. So every 24 hours you can apply it 2 to 3 times, followed by wash. You can either take a bath or you can simply wash the area wherever infection has occurred if you have applied only to a certain area. Okay. So those are the drugs that are used in scabies and pediculosis. That's a very small class, not a lot of description about it anyway. Okay. I hope you understood it. Now we'll go into antiseptics and disinfectants. Now, both of these are germicides. Okay, both of them will kill germs, but one is used on animate objects, one is used on inanimate objects. Matlab, one can be used on living things, the other cannot. Now, whenever we talk about a term called disinfection, or if we talk about disinfective, let's suppose, it will destroy pathogens except spores. Okay, bacterial spores are not affected. Disinfectant में generally it is not affected. अगर आप spores को भी मार रहे बोले तो that will become a sterilization. ठीक है, the process will become sterilization rather than disinfection. So if I go by specific terminology, disinfection, ठीक है, this is destroying pathogens. See, the main pathogens that we are targeting is bacteria, bacterial spores, viruses and fungi. ठीक है, ये तीन को मेन किल करना रहता. Destroying pathogens except spores. If spores are killed as well, meaning complete pathogen destruction, that will be sterilization. ठीक है. Now, disinfectants are used on inanimate objects. You will use them on things. You will use them on objects which do not have life. You do not use them on humans. Okay? Used on inanimate objects. Animals or animals पे भी any living or person या any living thing के ऊपर use नहीं करते आप. ठीक है? For living things you use antiseptics. Or living beings, you use antiseptics. Antiseptics will destroy microbes. They can also be because they can be used on living organisms, hence the antiseptic part. Okay, so can be used on animate objects. Okay, to put it in another way, those are used on inanimate, this is used on animate. Now both of them will come under germicide because both of them are killing. दोनों को भी germicide बोल सकते हैं. So if anyone tells you what is a germicide, it will include both a disinfectant and an antiseptic. ठीक है, because both of them are killing germs, they are germicide. अब कैसा कर रहे हो, that is different. ठीक है, whether it is used on a living person or if it is used on a non-living object, that will vary later on. Now the mechanism of action of all germicides will come down to four main mechanisms of actions. ठीक है, germicides work by four main MOA. Generally most of the disinfectants and antiseptics that we'll study in this class, it will either have one of these mechanisms of action or they might have combination of these mechanisms of actions. First of all is oxidation of bacterial protoplasm. Okay, that is one mechanism of action. Denaturation of proteins. Denaturation of proteins, it can be any protein, bacterial, fungal, viral, जो भी protein है, generally bacterial protein को affect करता. Then we have detergent like action. I'll explain in a bit what is detergent like action. Then fourth mechanism is competing with substrates, essential substrates for enzymatic reactions. Okay, so important products are not formed inside the pathogen's body. So it is competing with the substrate itself and it is replacing. Competitive inhibition कर रहा है यहाँ पर. ठीक है. So detergent like action क्या है? Detergent is something that will detergent or surfactants. ठीक है. These are things that will decrease the surface tension of a particular material. So for example, अब let's suppose this is a general bacterial cell. For example, ठीक है. मैं अगर इसके ऊपर डिटर्जेंट डाला तो essentially in theory what I'm doing is I am decreasing the surface tension of the bacterial cell. In other words, I am deteriorating the membrane of that bacteria so that outside material can come inside and inside material can go outside. So I'm basically making the bacteria or that pathogen hollow. ठीक है, I'll repeat once again. अगर आप for example if I talk only by plain detergent terms, अब समझो you have a piece of cloth. Let's suppose someone let's suppose hello, for example let's suppose Atul wore a t-shirt, ठीक है, and he ate something with ketchup for example, and he has a little bit of ketchup that fell on this particular t-shirt. ठीक है, let's suppose ketchup गिर गया. Now when you're trying to clean this ketchup, off the t-shirt. So what you will do is you will add a little bit of detergent. Essentially, if you want to clean it a little bit deeper, what you do is you will wet that area a little bit. You'll take a little bit of detergent and you will rub it in, and you will let the t-shirt soak in the detergent for a little bit of time, maybe an hour or two, and maybe overnight, and then you will later wash it. यहाँ पर the purpose of using the detergent is it will go into individual fiber, the strands. Let's suppose if I zoom into that cloth, the fibers are like this, and let's suppose the ketchup is something like this. ठीक है, let's suppose ketchup ऐसा आके इस ये strands के ऊपर लग गया. So what I'm essentially trying to do is, with detergent like action, I am trying to make that ketchup porous, and I am trying to remove that ketchup out of that fiber itself, fiber of the cloth. The same thing will happen to the bacteria. यहाँ पर the bacteria or the pathogen will become weaker in structure. Its cellular structure will become weaker, so that it becomes more porous to the substances that are present outside, and the substances that are present inside the pathogen will come outside. ठीक है, उसकी cellular integrity चले आ रही whenever I use a detergent. Okay, so these are the four main mechanisms of actions through which any germicide will work, either disinfectant or antiseptic. Sometimes some antiseptics or disinfectants will have multiple action, meaning they will denature and they will oxidize, or they will have a detergent like function and they will denature. वैसा भी रहता है combination में. Okay, now there are a few factors that will affect the activity of a germicidal agent, how good that germicidal agent is. Okay, first factor will be concentration of drug. Okay, concentration of drug and duration of contact. Generally speaking, if a antiseptic has high concentration and if it is allowed to stay in contact for a longer period of time, its effect will be higher, but not always. Okay, there is one exception, that is alcohol, because alcohol is also technically it is an antiseptic. Alcohol at 70% concentration will have maximum antiseptic effect. If you increase the concentration anymore, you will not get any more increase in antiseptic effect. Okay, technically speaking, if you go over 90, the effect, antiseptic effect of the alcohol will decrease. Okay, I'll repeat once again. Generally speaking, for most antiseptics and for most disinfectants, when you increase the concentration of the antiseptic or disinfectant, its effect will also increase. Its effect will also increase if it is in contact with that particular pathogen for a longer period of time, except alcohol. Alcohol jo hai, at 70% it will have maximum activity. So alcohol max activity at 70%, maximum antiseptic activity. If you go up to 90, the activity will be similar, okay, the same as 70. If you go any higher, activity decreases. Okay, it'll the total amount of pathogens that it is killing, that will decrease. So that is one factor. Then we have organism susceptibility. Second, organism susceptibility. इसका मतलब ये है, to certain antiseptics and to certain bacteria, some organisms are susceptible, some are not. To put it in a very crude way, spores, bacterial spores and viruses, they generally tend to be resistant to antiseptics. They will not die by antiseptics. Okay, you will have to use a disinfectant in their case. Okay, that is organism susceptibility. They will not be susceptible to certain chemicals, while they will be susceptible to something else. Then we have the third factor, temperature. Generally speaking, if you have higher temperature, antiseptic activity will increase. Okay, pathogens will die. Now, coming to the, rather than telling you the whole classification, because there'll be 9 different classes, I'll go class by class, explain each of these classes, the example in these classes. Not a lot of detail in all of them, but there are a lot of classes as such. 9 different classes and 3-4 drugs in each of them. Okay, they're not so much as drugs, I would say. They are more like chemicals. Okay, I'm sure you've heard about or used most of them, so they'll sound familiar. First of all, coming to acids. Acids is a class of its own. Okay, we will have boric acid, benzoic acid, salicylic acid in this. So first of all, we'll come to boric acid. ठीक है, बोरिक एसिड या बोरैक्स या सोडियम बोरेट, तीनों का एक्शन सिमिलर है. दीज आर वीक बैक्टीरियोस्टैटिक static and fungistatic agents. ठीक है, they will not kill the fungus or they will not kill the bacteria, they will only stop the growth of the bacteria or they will stop the growth of the fungus. Now generally aqueous solution of boric acid is used for either bladder infection, or you can use it on large wounds to clean large wounds, or you can use them to irrigate ice. ठीक है, or you can use it for vaginal infections or vaginal injuries. Boric acid is helpful. Also sodium borate, borax जिसको बोलते हैं ना, वो. Then we have another one which is benzoic acid. Not a lot of PK PD because these are only applied from top. इन लोगों को PK PD वो पूरा नहीं देखते, ठीक है. You are not ingesting them inside, right? That is why I told they are more like chemicals rather than drugs as such. Now benzoic acid is antibacterial, but the catch is that pH should be low. ठीक है, at pH uh, less than 5, okay, it will have an antibacterial effect. It will also have an antifungal effect. It will kill the fungus. Okay. Generally, benzoic acid is used as a preservative. In most laboratories, you will use benzoic acid to preserve certain organs or to preserve certain substances. It is very good so that bacteria and fungi do not grow. Then we have salicylic acid. Salicylic acid is a bacteriostatic, fungicidal, and keratolytic. Bactericidal, sorry, bacteriostatic, fungicidal, and keratolytic. ठीक है, केराटोलाइटिक यहाँ काम आता. केराटोलाइटिक इसका मतलब है द स्किन पे जो केराटिन रहता है उसको डिस्ट्रॉय करता. Why is it useful? Let's suppose some person has warts. Okay, I'm not sure whether you've seen warts or not. They will look like calluses, dry scaly calluses. Okay, or someone has seborrheic dermatitis, for example. A lot of yellowish scaling will occur on the skin. या फिर they have corns will also look like calluses. ठीक है, dry itchy structures on the skin. उन लोगों के लिए ये बहुत अच्छा काम आता है. Salicylic acid will help in killing or removing the dead skin. ठीक है, then we have alcohol, especially if the dead skin is becoming a hub for infection to occur. Generally what happens is अगर आपके पास dead skin है ऊपर, you will have bacteria or some other pathogen growing inside it. If you let it be for a long period of time, that infection will become very severe and it will enter into your body and wreak havoc. ठीक है, that is why you can use something like a keratolytic agent to remove that keratin layer and to remove that skin layer before it can grow anymore. Now alcohols, the first alcohol is ethyl alcohol. ठीक है, ethyl alcohol जो है, you can use ethyl alcohol, or you can use isopropyl alcohol as well. Now these have become very popular in the times of corona as well because viruses are particularly susceptible to alcohol. Whenever you yourself, another thing I would like to tell you, whenever you go out to buy this thing, क्या बोलते हैं, hand sanitizer and this thing and all, make sure that it is industrial grade or it is hospital grade. It should be able to kill viruses. To kill virus, that particular hand sanitizer needs to have alcohol. That too, the alcohol percentage should not be less than 70-80%. At that concentration, what do you call, viruses will die. क्योंकि आजकल you will see in several shops and all, they will sell you this thing, hand sanitizers, and people will buy a lot, but they are not checking whether that will work on viruses or not. It is pointless to buy it against bacteria. Not that bacterial infections are bad or anything, they will occur as well and it is fine for bacterial infection. But right now you cannot take it and think that it is protecting you from corona or it is cleaning your hands of coronavirus. ठीक है, so make sure that whenever you go out and buy a what do you call, disinfectant, or you buy a हैंड सैनिटाइजर, इट हैज अल्कोहल, ठीक है। जो अर्बल वो मिलते हैं, जनरली वो लोग में अल्कोहल नहीं रहता। अर्बल बॉडी कॉल हैंड सैनिटाइजर्स, यू नीड टू हैव अल्कोहल टू किल वायरस। नहीं तो उस पे एक्सप्लिसिटली मेंशन रहना दैट इट हैज द कैपेसिटी टू किल। सी जनरली वायरस बोले तो इट विल नॉट बी मेंशनड एज कोरोना वायरस एज सच, इट विल बी मेंशनड एज एचबीवी, ईबीवी, या हेपेटाइटिस वायरस, या इबोला वायरस, या एप्स्टीन बार वायरस, या ऐसा वायरस आरएसवी वैसा मेंशन रहता है। इट कैन किल ऑल ऑफ दोस, इफ इट इज एबल टू किल दोस इट कैन किल कोरोना एज वेल, ठीक है। Those will be useful for you rather than normal antibacterial. Bacterial hand sanitizers are useless. Okay. Now, as such, coming back to ethyl alcohol, it has maximum antiseptic activity at 60 to 90%. Max activity at 60 to 90%. Okay, so that solution will have 60 to 90% alcohol. Right. If you, as I told you, if you increase the alcoholic concentration over 90, its antiseptic effect will decrease. Okay, that is why the generally what happens is you will only keep it between 60 to 90. This will denature bacterial proteins. That is how ethyl alcohol works. Now, the disadvantage of ethyl alcohol is that it is not exactly effective against spores. Some viruses and fungi do not respond to ethyl alcohol. You can use isopropyl alcohol in its place. Another big disadvantage with alcohols is you cannot apply it on open wounds. You can apply, but it'll burn like it'll burn a lot. Okay. Generally, whenever you're trying to treat a open wound, अगर आप alcohol डालें तो patient will be in a lot of pain, will start abusing you. So it is very very irritant on open wounds. That is one problem, and it is flammable. ठीक है, it can catch fire. The problem यहाँ पर क्या आती, let's suppose you have used alcohol as an antiseptic and you are not letting the alcohol dry off, you do not let it evaporate completely, and let's suppose you immediately start laser surgery or you start cauterizing. Okay, cauterizing is when you try to close the wound by burning the wound, not used nowadays, but in case of emergency you can close wounds by burning the wound as well. Okay, very very brutal, but it's not used. Long ago it was used, cauterizing. जो alcohol रहता, let's suppose you applied alcohol and you use a laser surgery or you perform cauterization, that will catch fire. Okay, so that is flammable. Those are the disadvantage of alcohols. Another alcohol that you can use is isopropyl alcohol. Though it is more toxic than ethanol, it has more coverage in a different way. Okay, it will cover some other viruses and spores that this fellow cannot cover. Okay. Generally, you can use isopropyl alcohol at a concentration of 68 to 72%. Isopropyl alcohol 68 to 72%. Okay. Then we have aldehydes. Now, aldehydes, these are generally gases. Okay. You will use formaldehyde or you will use glutaraldehyde. Glutaraldehyde is more common though. If specifically, let's suppose you are using formaldehyde will be a gas at room temperature. Okay, generally it is used for fumigation. If you remember in our college as well, एक fumigator लेके आते थे आप लोगों के rooms में, and you used to put formalin tablets inside that, and you used to leave it inside the room, right, for around 24 hours or 36 hours or maybe more. You will keep the room empty. You will not let anyone go inside because it becomes very toxic. Now, as such, it is used for fumigation. That is why formaldehyde, gas at room temperature. Okay, it is used for fumigation. Okay. You will get an aqueous solution, 40% aqueous solution of formalin, which is non-corrosive. That has a very broad spectrum antimicrobial effect. Formalin bulk milta, that is essentially formaldehyde. Okay. If you go near it, let's suppose agar skin pe apply kar diye formaldehyde, it will cause immediate denaturation of your skin and skin will become hard. Okay, it will have a very very pungent odor and it is irritant. It will irritate your respiratory mucous membranes and the mucous membrane of your eye. So immediately the patient might start coughing or sneezing and they will have redness in their eye, their eyes will start watering, all of that will happen. Another very important effect of formaldehyde is that it is carcinogenic. That is also one of the reasons why you do not go in a room that has been fumigated with formaldehyde. Okay, so this is hardens audio. One second. Hardens skin on topical use, carcinogenic, pungent odor, very foul smell. Odor. It irritates mucous membranes. Mucous membranes of respiratory tract, and you're right. These are first affected. Okay. Now, as such, you dilute this drug. Okay, it is used in 1:200 dilution, especially to disinfect surgical instruments. If you are trying to disinfect surgical instruments or to disinfect gloves, you will dilute formaldehyde, specifically formalin, in 1:200 solution, and you use it. Generally, this drug mechanism of action is that it will denature protein by alkylation. It will denature both proteins and nucleic acids. Okay. Then we have glutaraldehyde. Glutaraldehyde is another aldehyde. Glutaraldehyde is generally used as a 2% solution. Glutaraldehyde, slightly better than formaldehyde because it will not cause as much irritation. Okay. Used as 2% solution. Okay, this is a bactericidal, sporocidal, fungicidal, and virucidal. So it has very broad coverage. It will affect all the main pathogens. Generally, the pH you should use it at is around pH. Oh dear, pH to be used at is 7.4 to 8.5. Okay. Now, because this is milder irritant than formaldehyde, it is preferred. Okay. Milder irritant than CH2O. Yeah, CH2O is formaldehyde. Now, this also has greater sporicidal activity than our formaldehyde. Now, as such, you can use this drug, this for glutaraldehyde, for sterilizing rubber, for sterilizing plastic or metal appliances as well, especially surgical tools, okay, or any other surgical appliances. Now, you can use a 2% solution for local application as well. In formaldehyde, if you use the if you use it topically, it harden the skin, right? This will not do that. You can use a 2% solution for local application, especially when a person has hyperhidrosis, increased sweating. Some people will have increased sweating in their palms and their soles. उसमें glutaraldehyde use कर सकते हैं. Idiopathic hyperhidrosis बोलते हैं उसको. Cause is unknown. So in that you use 2% solution of glutaraldehyde. All right, 2% solution can be used topically for idiopathic hyperhidrosis. ठीक है, in palm and soles. So people who have increased sweating in their palms and soles, उसके अंदर आप ये use कर सकते हैं. Now we'll continue with surfactants tomorrow. Okay, we have a few more classes in this. Continue tomorrow and day after tomorrow.